At the dawn of creation, humanity walked in harmony with the Creator. They shared an intimate, unbroken relationship with God, pure, direct, and free from the chains of rituals, sacrifices, or intermediaries. This was God's original plan, a relationship untainted, without boundaries. But then humanity fell. Sin entered the world, and with it a great change. Instead of seeking God directly, humans began to build systems designed to control and manage their connection with the divine. A shift not from God, but from fallen beings who sought to confuse and enslave. Enter the Watchers, the fallen angels. In ancient texts, we learn of these celestial beings who came down to earth and introduced humanity to practices that would change everything: rituals, sacrifices, idolatry. Led by Lucifer, their aim was clear: to sever humanity from the truth of a direct relationship with God. The first sign of this corruption appears in the story of Cain and Abel. In Genesis 4, both brothers bring offerings to God. One is accepted, the other rejected. The issue wasn't the offerings themselves, but the motives behind them. Humanity, now trying to gain favor with God through sacrifice, had moved away from the original, pure relationship with God, one that was direct, simple, and free from rituals or intermediaries. In countless historical writings, like Genesis 4:26, for example, we see humankind began to call on the name of the Lord. However, the original Hebrew word for began carries a much deeper meaning. It means to profane, defile, or pollute. What seemed like worship was, in fact, the beginning of idolatry, a corrupted way of attempting to connect with the divine. Today, what we often call worship can be seen as a form of profanity. Why? Because humanity, in its arrogance and willful ignorance, has chosen to define how it wants to relate to the Creator, rather than listening to what the Creator, a loving person, truly desires. Whether through religious rituals, spiritual ceremonies, or philosophical beliefs, humanity continues to say, "I'll do it my way to connect with you," as if their methods could bridge the gap. The truth is, these attempts are futile, and humanity suffers the consequences of this arrogance by their own choice. As the corruption spread, giants walked the earth, beings born of fallen angels and human women. These Nephilim sowed chaos, leading God to send the flood. But this wasn't just a natural disaster, it was a divine reset, a purging of corruption from the earth. Similar stories exist across ancient cultures. Greek mythology's gods and giants, such as Uranus, Cronus, and Iapetus, echo the events of Noah's flood. These fragments of truth became distorted through the ages, shaped by cultures far removed from the original events. Through history, we see recurring attempts to disrupt God's plan. In Greek mythology, Cronus castrates Uranus, symbolizing a break in divine authority. In the Bible, Ham dishonors Noah. These aren't just isolated events, they reflect a spiritual war aimed at stopping God's plan for humanity. Despite these efforts, God's plan unfolded through Jesus Christ, the ultimate sacrifice that rendered rituals and bloodshed obsolete. Jesus' death was the final act, restoring the direct relationship between humanity and God that was lost in the beginning. This was humankind's last stand to keep ritual in place over relationship. In fact, they killed Jesus to maintain corruption, and essentially this hasn't really changed, has it? These ancient stories, now considered myths, are actually echoes of a forgotten truth. Tales of giants, floods, and divine intervention that have been distorted over time through culture and memory. Today, the truth remains obscured, but it is still clear. Don't be deceived. What's true is evident, and it only requires one decision. You can choose to embrace fables or accept the truth. God never intended for us to follow religion. He wanted a relationship with us. Through Jesus, that relationship is restored. No more rituals, no more sacrifices, no more myths or fantasies, just the Creator and His creation walking together as it was always meant to be. Jesus Christ of Nazareth is the way back to your true purpose, as explained in the video. The choice is yours, friends. In closing, remember, Jesus is not religion, and He rejected it, even when people tried to place Him at the center of it. He is not religion, He is the Son of God. Jesus came to restore the original pure relationship between Creator and creation, a relationship that doesn't rely on rituals, sacrifices, or religious systems, organizations, or buildings. He revealed the truth. You are a precious child, loved and invited back into the arms of your Creator. You don't need to stay lost in the world's lies or dead inside. The choice is yours. embrace the truth, and walk in the freedom Jesus brings, or continue following human-made systems that only lead away from what He intended. The way back to your true purpose is clear. It's Jesus Christ, and He's waiting for you to come home. Once you realize this, you can come together with others who understand it too, simply celebrating this truth and freedom. Nothing more, nothing less. From this reality, you'll want to share this amazing news with everyone you meet because it's something worth celebrating and sharing, don't you think?